nobody get too crazy here. If she lets me get a look at it. No, not really loosened up. Now she's due Saturday. I chose to put her out here this morning, not because I had a strong feeling that she was going to have a calf today, but just in case she should suddenly make a big change. So she'll spend her days and nights out here now until she decides to have that calf. I can hear that plane that Wilson was talking about, but I certainly can't see it anywhere. He is watching flight radar quite a bit these days because starting this coming Sunday or Monday is the EAA fly-in up in Oshkosh. I always forget, I think it's Experimental Aviation Association, something like that. I don't know why I can't remember all 3 words, but it's just my old brain. Anyway, last year Hank and Lydia and Wilson went up on Saturday for the day. It's a huge event, a lot of people, but they went up for the day on Saturday because then they also do a night show on Saturday evening, and they just had a fabulous time. So I know Hank and his pilot buddy Tyler are going on Monday this coming week. I think Wilson is hoping to go with them on Monday, but then he and Lydia and I think maybe George are going on Saturday too, because they love that night show. So that's what he was talking about as he was watching the flight radar. Our property sometimes sees some very interesting things flying over as planes are gathering in Oshkosh for the week. So here's the man that can probably for the 10th or more time tell me again. EAA stands for Experimental Aircraft Association. Did I say it correctly?
Correct.
Okay, wonderful. It's with me momentarily. I don't know if it will stick with me, but that's a nice blue shirt.
You should tie your shoes.
I don't have any laces.
You should get laces.
They fell out. I don't know if laces would go back in there. My sister got me these shoes over a year ago. They're Duck brand, and they're actually very good for water tightness, but lots of other things get down in the shoe now that they don't have laces on them. You look good in blue, sweetie. You're supposed to say thank you.
Thank you.
That's what my mother always said. Find another one for me, George.
Yeah, don't worry.
Pretty slick. You look good in blue too. I was telling your dad he looks good in blue.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I look good at anything.
What? Well, good Friday afternoon, everybody. I am down the road, around the corner from the farm, next to this vineyard on a hill. And Keith and Wilson are down here baling and wrapping, working on about 10 acres of hay, 15 acres total, that Keith's cousin Brian typically harvests from. But Brian and his son Wesley apparently have already harvested enough hay to keep them for 2 years. They put the hay into long bags, and the bags sometimes have problems with tearing. So he did not want to harvest this field, so he's offered it to Keith to harvest. And I know there's going to be a certain cost for bale, obviously. I think what Keith and Brian had talked about was if Keith just covers the cost of the fertilizer. Something to that effect, so we can give you more details on that later, but I thought I'd come down here, show you the field, show you the wrapper back to working. I know Keith could also give more information on this, but he has ordered a replacement part, a stretcher mechanism for the wrapper, because right now the stretcher is not working and Wilson has to get off the tractor for every bale that he wraps and actually become the stretcher himself by holding his hand on the plastic, putting it under pressure, I guess. And so the new part has been ordered, which will actually convert the 20-inch to the 30-inch. I will have Keith explain that to you too, because I get bits and pieces, but not the full understanding. So.
And have you figured out what causes it to happen? my glove's all sticky. My glove catches on the roll,
Okay.
and then it's
So I
new
was.
stretcher will fix that.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned the new stretcher to folks. Can you kind of explain that maybe what happened with this one and what we're converting to?
Well, first of all, the stretcher just keeps it tight
Yeah.
on the bale. If I don't grab it, it goes on all not tight.
Yeah.
Anyways, this one's just worn out, so it spins too freely.
Okay.
And then the new one will obviously stretch it tighter, and the new one will go from 20-inch plastic to 30-inch plastic. So instead of doing 36 rounds on the bale, we can do 24 rounds on the bale,
Okay.
which will save plastic overall. And yeah, I won't have to get off the tractor every time.
That would be nice. Happen to count how many rounds he did. I think he mentioned 30 is what they do now. Now obviously the bales can't stay here, this is not our property, but Pete several years ago built a grappling mechanism that hooks onto mounts onto the front of the Kubota. And so I'm sure that they will use that to come over here and pick up these bales and put them on a wagon to take home. That the wrapper is in working condition thanks to a man who knows how to do stuff. When Keith and I were dating and engaged, I used to ride a lot with him in the tractor. We probably fit a little better back in those days, but I'm gonna see if he'll pick me up and let me ride with him a little bit again.
You've gotten wider.
So I'm wondering if you could tell people anything we could do, or
What was the logical thing we could do? The only stretcher I could get to replace the 20 incher is a 30 incher. And they have a little retrofit part which would make the 30 incher work with 20 inch.
Okay.
But 30 inch is more efficient and more available. So I would just have to make a few more parts for the underneath of that table to convert it to 30 inch. So that's sort of my goal. Quite sure it can be done, but won't know until I do it.
Well, Wilson mentioned how much it costs, so I certainly hope you can
Yeah, well,
do
that's
it.
a factor too. I mean, I looked into doing it quite a few years ago, and it was the cost that prohibited me.
Okay.
Well, not prohibited me. It was the cost that made me decide not to do it. But now that I had to buy a new stretcher, that was most of the cost, so we're going to try to go ahead and complete the conversion.
So if for some terrible reason you cannot complete the conversion, the part can be returned?
Well, no, I'll still have to keep the part. I need a stretcher. The conversion can be completed with just a few parts that I believe I can build.
Right.
So if I fail to complete the conversion, it would be due solely to my incompetence.
Right, which I don't believe
Could or
anyway.
could not happen.
Right. But worst case
I am
scenario.
just a farmer.
Worst case scenario, you can run the 20 inch on the 30 inch.
Correct.
Okay. I thought you had mentioned that, so.
Well, it ships with an adapter part for
Yeah.
the 20 inch.
Okay.
Now, if I can, I'm assuming that adapter part has to be something very simple. Once I see it, I could probably make the adapter part and ship the new one back. Or if we convert right away, I won't even need it, of course.
Okay. And this part,
I just need a little harvest window to be able to work on the wrapper.
right,
The day is coming hot and heavy.
yeah. And you said that part, is that supposed to come the beginning of this week?
Better.
No. This next
3 to
week.
5 days, I think is what he said. I'm
Okay.
sure those are not including Saturday and Sunday.
Right, and
Although it is an LTL shipment, so I'm sure it's traveling Saturday and Sunday.
Hopefully it's with a reputable LTL company.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't end up in Mexico on a stolen truck. Finish this field, I might quit for today. It's not drying out like I would like.
So the next field is the one on the hill here.
Next over, yeah.
So then where is the other plot that he mowed? Okay.
This middle field here. And this farm actually borders our farm.
Back to the north, correct?
North, well, our southeast cornerstone is their northwest cornerstone.
Okay. Well, I remember Brian calling us back, I don't know how many years ago, when he was over here working across the gravel road there, because he thought our cows were out. And I can remember coming over here. They weren't here at the time, but I got back in the cornfield and found suspicious hoof prints. So apparently they had been out and over here, but had found their way back. Naughty cows. Although I'm always very glad when they find their own way back. Now, what are you doing when you're pausing like this? Is it just tying up the bale?
Yes.
It's obvious, but I wanted to make sure I was correct.
Well,
are thankful for Wilson and his ability to do this. He now too, over the last couple of days, has done the mowing of the hay too, so. I know we're really thankful for a good year for hay this year, especially compared to last year. Keith said that we're already around 200 wrapped bales presently, and didn't have that many last year at the end of the season, so we're very, very thankful. I'm sure he'll still be doing some dry hay from our friend Jeff, because he likes to mix that in instead of the cows being on all baleage. But it will be nice if we don't have to buy any baleage from anyone like we did last year. Well, good morning everybody. It's Saturday morning, a little before 6 o'clock. We're done with milking. I actually am going into work for a few hours this morning. Lydia's already at work for a few hours, as well as Hank. Our company's on overtime at this point, trying to keep up with our summer orders. But anyway, I want to step out here really quick and check on Stormy, make sure nothing's happening with her. And again, this is more so from a calcium standpoint, should she have had her calf. Maybe she's the one staring at me up there. Anything happening with you this morning? On occasion, we have had a cow had a calf, and the calf actually gets away from the cow and goes under the fence. And the fact that she's talking this morning kind of makes me wonder, because yesterday she was very quiet and perfectly content to be out here. Maybe she just smells Wilson working with the silage over there and she misses our silage. Anyway, let's take a look at her backside, see if anything has happened. And I would say no. If she had had her calf, there would probably be cleanings, evidence of stuff there on her udder and on her backside, and I see nothing of that, so probably just looking for some silage. Hey Stormy? Yeah? Today is your due day. Anything gonna happen today, Stormy? Lydia came out this morning to check on our heifers up back and saw that they had broken the fence, and some of them at least were still on the outside. It looks like maybe everybody's back in now except for Lazy Daisy May. So she'll be okay until Lydia gets home later on today and maybe throws a halter on her and moves her back in with everybody. While I was gone at work this morning, Keith and Wilson worked on bringing home the bales from around the corner. I think there are 23 bales here, and then they are currently back over there. Keith is baling, and then they're loading the unwrapped bales onto the wagon to bring home, and Wilson's going to wrap them here. I don't know, I might have to count these. It's more than 23. I'll get back to you. Actually, unless you want to count them for me, let me know. I was hoping to be around when they did that process of bringing them home, but since I wasn't, I'll just show you the implement that Keith built years back. Just a set of squeezers that goes on the front of the Kubota. Glad he thought about it. It's always fun for the mom to sit back and try to figure out what's happening next here. Guess they're gonna go chopping. They have a youth group activity tonight, and I know George is chomping at the bit to make sure he gets over there. I know Wilson wants to go too, but it's gonna depend on what they get done here for wrapping. Hey Wilson, how many bales did you guys bring home this morning?
23. That's 8, that's 10 more, and then there's one in the bale. It's 34 for us.
All together. So, okay. So then you added the 23 to ones that were already existing over here? Because I thought there were 23, but then I got looking at that pile and I'm like, wow, there are a lot more than 23 right here. So those must have been from home fields then. Right. Well, it's Saturday evening, just coming out to do final check on Stormy. I don't think I'm seeing her here with the heifers. Ah, there she is. Nothing's doing yet. Oh. Yeah. All right, so we'll check on her in the morning. You ladies have a good evening. We hope everybody else has a great evening as well. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great Sunday.